I love the great outdoors, and you probably do too. One of my best friends and the guy who I do a lot of camping and hiking with was recently hired by Leave No Trace to travel the whole country, lead events, and educate people on how to minimize their impact on nature.
Hi, I'm Jeanelle,
And I'm Rob.
and we are the newest Subaru Leave No Trace traveling team.
Some of the reasons why we love to get outdoors is to connect with nature. The sights, the sounds, even the smells can be very therapeutic.
Check us at events all around the country in 2024.
Rob and Jeanelle have been on the job for a couple of months now. They've led many events and they've been living and camping out on the road in a geared out Subaru. They joined me for their first online interview to talk about their adventures and leave no trace. All right, I'm bringing in Rob and Jeanelle. Rob, Jeanelle, nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you. We already know each other. Yes, I know. We know each other too well. Fortunately.
Yeah, we won't go down that road today, though. So, I brought you guys on because you guys are now the professional Leave No Trace experts.
Okay.
So you guys know everything there is to know about Leave No Trace. And the reason why I'm bringing you in right now is, as you know, I'm going to be hitting the Appalachian Trail in a week or two. And I'm going to be right in the middle of the bubble. And there's all sorts of hikers and it's a busy trail. And I thought, what better time to brush up on the Leave No Trace?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because there's a very, very good chance, it's not set in stone, that we might be at Trail Days in Damascus. Not set in stone yet, but it's something that's in the works, and we hope it does come because we'd love to attend that and just kind of meet all the hiker trash because, you know, we're part of it too. So.
But before we go into Leave No Trace, maybe you guys can talk a little bit. Jeanelle, why don't you tell us a little bit about what exactly you guys are doing with all of your traveling and camping?
Well, we are one of 3 Subaru traveling teams, Subaru Leave No Trace traveling teams, actually. And Rob and I are more in the southeast, and the east, and the other 2 teams are out west. And we drive around and travel and really help educate different areas about Leave No Trace and provide workshops and trainings so then they can continue that in their areas. So, yeah, it's really exciting.
So you said Subaru, so I know you guys are camping. You have a rooftop tent in a Subaru and it's all outfitted. Maybe tell the gear nerds what's going on there.
Well, I shouldn't give away too much. I actually got a video coming out exactly about that pretty soon on my YouTube channel. So basically, Subaru is the title sponsor for the traveling team. So yes, we're outfitted with a Subaru Outback Wilderness. It's got a wrap on it, so it's all logoed up with all the different sponsors. They supplied us with a rooftop tent and a cargo carrier by Thule, which is another Subaru Leave No Trace collaboration. And as far as storage, the rest of the car is storage now. Since we get to sleep on the roof, the whole entire inner part of the car is shelves and drawers and shelving systems and pull-out coolers and slides and kitchens that come in and out.
Every inch is covered with something.
Yeah, I mean, and we went to like 3 or 4 different iterations about like, okay, does this work? How's this going to work? But if we move this, we have to put this there. It's been a process, and we're 98% of the way there. There's one more tweak coming, but it's been a learning experience, and we're really finding out what we actually need and what we don't need. We are not at the point yet, as far as capacity, to where if we buy a new pair of socks, we have to get rid of a pair of socks. We're not quite there yet, but we're not far from it.
So what your base weight is, like 2,000 pounds?
Yeah. You put the cooler in there full of that and ice. And then the rooftop tent, I mean, that thing weighs about 100-something pounds. But, you know, the roof and the rooftop tent has a 600-pound capacity, so we're fine.
Yeah.
We were excited that we were able to fit our backpacking gear in there. So we're hopefully
Nice.
going to utilize our gear and hit the trail. We haven't yet, but that's our goal.
I see you've gone on and done some exploring. Maybe briefly talk. I know you guys started in Colorado. You were down in Texas.
Yeah.
You were in New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
Yeah, right. They flew us out to Colorado where we did all of our training and our onboarding. We were there for a couple of weeks, and there was a lot of information to absorb and really learn how things work. And that's where we got our car, and I was able to build out that shelving system for the car. And that was the same week where it was like 16 below zero, so I was running in and out test fitting. It was kind of crazy. And then once we left, we headed down to Texas and did a big sweep through Texas. And our first solo event was there as well. Our very first event, we shadowed another team just to see how things worked. And then since then, we've been on our own. So Texas, and then through Louisiana, we were at a American Camping Association conference, which happened to coincide exactly with Mardi Gras. You know, so we got to work and play during Mardi Gras at the same time. It was actually pretty cool.
Nice. And now you're in Florida.
And now we're doing a big swoop through Florida, and we've done.
Yeah, it'll be 4 or 5 weeks we'll be here.
Yeah.
So we started, Jupiter, Miami, here at Island. Then we go to Santos next, and back down to Boca Raton.
And then we start heading up the East Coast. Like we'll hit Georgia and we'll go up. And I think we like dip west a little bit, like Arkansas. So the schedule, there's a lot of things on the calendar, and some of them are already set and ready to go. Others are still pending. So our scheduler kind of is working all those angles to make sure that our schedules align. But the cool part is once we get all of our prep work done, then we have the rest of the time to explore, and where we're hoping to check out new trails and stuff in the places we go. But the first month and a half, it's been just learning how we're going to do things. We didn't have much free time because we had to learn how we were going to teach and present. So that's what took up our free time.
And every time we go somewhere, it's been something different. So we've been doing a lot of things called the Spotlight, which is 3-day events. And then we've done a 1-day workshop, and then there's boothing coming up at a festival.
Fat Tire Festival.
But we tend to do a lot of Spotlight events, which include a stewardship project, a workshop, and then an outreach type events as well.
So we have this exciting life, traveling the country, talking about Leave No Trace. Tell us a little bit about Leave No Trace as far as the 7 principles.
There's a lot to kind of start off.
Briefly.
Leave No Trace in and of itself, it's more than just a set of words. It's actually a nonprofit organization based out of Boulder, Colorado. Been around for 30 years. And 25 of those years have been a direct sponsorship with Subaru. So we have a big summit coming up in October to celebrate those 30 years. But the 7 principles is something that Leave No Trace has come up with to help people make better decisions when they're enjoying the outdoors on trail or what have you. It's not a set of rules. This is not something where you're like, you have to abide by these or you're going to hell or anything like that, right? It's just a set of ideas because, we're not in business of telling you how to enjoy the outdoors. You enjoy it differently than we do. And it's not our place to tell you how to do that, but keep these 7 principles in mind and adapt them for your enjoyment out there. And hopefully that same space that's valuable, that's why you're there, can be left just as good or better for the next people that come for years, for generations on down the line.
Okay. So can we go through the 7 briefly?
Yeah, you ready? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Our first, by the way, we're going to do little hand signals with it because it helps people remember. So our first principle number 1 is plan ahead and prepare.
Principle number 2, travel and camp on durable surfaces.
And principle number 3, dispose of waste properly. But if you're a backpacker such as yourself, instead of using the picker and picking up trash, this could be your trowel. So you're going to dig a cat hole 6 to 8 inches deep. You're going to do your business, number 2 in it, and then you're going to cover it back up.
Principle number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave what you find and take a picture instead.
And principle number 5, minimize campfire impacts.
Principle number 6, respect wildlife. Antlers, ears, an owl, respect wildlife.
And principle number 7, I like to do that, is be considerate of others.
Cool. Can I make a confession? The one principle that I have the hardest time following?
3.
I already know.
I'm trying to do better.
3,
know.
isn't it?
No. I don't know which one which one was 3.
Dispose of waste properly.
No, I do that. But the durable surfaces. And the hardest part, I mean, both you guys have hiked the Spear hiking trail. When you come to a spot in the trail where it's all muddy and your shoes are nice and dry and clean, what does everybody want to do? They want to go around the mud puddle, right?
Correct.
And I know what I should be doing is walking through the mud puddle.
And why do you think that is?
Because you don't want to disturb the vegetation that is around the trail there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all come to that part in the trail where it's 30 feet wide because there's all sorts of trails going around.
Right. It probably started at about 4 feet wide, and it kept getting muddy, and then that's called trail widening, and that does happen. And hopefully you're planning ahead and preparing and knowing what those trail conditions are and wearing appropriate footwear so you can walk through it. I know for the ultralighters, they got their breathable, light hiking shoes. If they walk through it, it's going to be very, very messy. As opposed to someone who's wearing boots, they can walk right through it and rinse it off later, right? We see those compounding impacts all the time. I mean, I've done it. I walked around.
And we
some
know.
of the mud is insane on the
Yeah,
superior
like
mud.
right by that campsite by Finland. That's really bad, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They just put in a boardwalk there, so it's a more durable surface.
So
That's awesome.
The Trail Association is seeing those impacts, right? And they're actually engineering ways to fix that problem. And it's a slow process, but it is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So the debate is always if there's a side trail going around that isn't the trail you're supposed to go on, but it's a durable surface now.
It is now, right? Yeah, it's called a new social trail. Now, the one thing to keep in mind about the 7 principles and leave no trace, there's never a leave no trace emergency. It's not like, oh, you got to do it right now, right? It's just hopefully next time you're prepared to walk through it.
Yeah, basically planting the seed and trying to make the best decision. You're always going to make an impact, right? But what's the least impact?
Yeah, I won't shame you for it. I'll shame you for other things, though. Just between me and you.
All right, number 7. What was number 7 again?
Be considerate of others.
Yep. So wave at them and say, "Hey, that's your 7."
Or bye.
So that one's a little bit different than the other 6 in that I think the first 6 are for the people that come after you.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're not leaving anything behind or so they can't see that you were there. But number 7 is to help increase the enjoyment of people who are presently around you.
Right, because we encounter a lot of multi-use trails, right? I mean, people on the trails we hike on, there's mountain bikers, there's people on horses, there's ATVers, right? They're all enjoying that trail, the same area as you are. It's just that their activities are different. And we have to respect their enjoyment as long as it's not, they're not trying to burn down a forest or something like that, right? But they have every right to be out there as you, especially if they're on trails designated as multi-use, right? It's okay, but it also helps to know who yields to who and who should be courteous to who. If a horse is coming by, it's probably better for you to step off trail than a giant horse. If a mountain biker is coming by, it is incumbent on the mountain biker. He doesn't have to get off the bike and walk by you. Just, hey, coming by, they can slow down, be courteous.
Yeah.
Because even so, 2 feet off the trail is going to be less impactful than 2 big mountain bike tires, right? So, there's those things.
You guys having a party?
I know, right? I don't know what that was. That was weird.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but
also
Leave No Trace is a party.
Leave No Trace is a party. But also with being considerate of others, we know there is high usage out in the outdoors. And with that comes crowding, and crowding can have a big effect on someone else's experience. So that's to do with your noise level and you're being courteous on trail or in the outdoor space in general, because we all go to the outdoors to have a positive experience, and hopefully we can give somebody else a positive experience as well.
And the thing that I always like to tell people is, you think that you picking that one flower or you not burying your poop out in the middle of nowhere isn't going to bug anybody. But if the 1,000 people who walk along the trail are thinking the exact same thing, it accumulates and does start to affect everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
A term that I heard recently, and it makes sense, is you see toilet paper tulips, right? And you can see them kind of tucked away, right? But we've hiked into some really high impact areas. The Appalachian Trail is going to be one. A section of the
Chicago Basin.
The Chicago Basin in the San Juan Mountains in Colorado. They received like 1,000 visitors over the weekend. I mean, that's 1,000 people, 2,000 people a weekend.
Because it's climbers and hikers. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of fun.
Yeah, day hikers.
Yeah, so they're really promoting wag bags. They want you to poop and pack it out. And we get that seems disgusting. It's either that or it's just going to be poop bombs everywhere. Once you use a wag bag, I mean, it's not ideal, but it's probably the best solution right now, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's some places where it's so sensitive that if you want to enjoy it, you need to take that next level and keep it that way.
Right, exactly. I know me and you have been on trail and you've directly stepped on someone's bum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why is it grosser to step in a person's poop than a dog's poop?
Right. It's awful.
Well, because humans eat the worst stuff. Because what we eat is in our poop. So think about the stuff you eat.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot of Doritos in there. So
So if you're walking along the Appalachian Trail and you see poop with orange Doritos in it, it's not me. All right. So tell us a little bit about how people can find out more information about Leave No Trace. I know also if you can tell them how they can find out where you're going to be. I know you guys are kind of looking around like, if somebody wants to meet up with you and can help you guys out in any way.
Well,
tell us about that.
If anybody wants to learn more about Leave No Trace, they can go to lnt.org. And there's a ton of free information, whether it's research or activities, if you work with kids or other people, and you want to continue to, teach people in an appropriate way. But there's also, we tend to have a lot of the Spotlight events, and you can go on Leave No Trace and check out the Spotlight events on the East Coast, and those are going to be us.
Yep, there's an events calendar right on the website. And a lot of them have stewardship projects, meaning like cleanups, where people can just come and help clean up a park. And obviously, we'll be there. And sometimes the workshops we do, sometimes they're open to the public where you can kind of learn firsthand from one of the traveling teams about how to make minimal impacts. But as far as knowing where we're going to be specifically, that's not something I'm probably just going to just shoot out to the public, since I'm such a big deal on YouTube. I don't want people just to find us wherever we are. So I'm trying to find ways to get people interested in who wanted to help us individually. I'm trying to figure out a way how they can do that. But that's completely separate. My YouTube channel is 100% separate from Leave No Trace. My content is my content. Leave No Trace content is Leave No Trace content. So want to make that clear.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't think we talked about it, but Jeanelle, your background was as a teacher, and Rob, you're just a guy that knows a lot of stuff.
A lot.
Yeah, I'm like the Cliff
so
backpacking.
It's a little known fact that.
Yeah.
So I think Leave No Trace is lucky to have both of you, and
thank you.
I think you guys are really going to make a good impact for the program and for the principals and nature in general.
Yeah, we're very lucky to combine, you know, our careers and our passions of the outdoors, but also I was passionate about teaching, and I get to combine the two for me, which is awesome. And Rob, he's great with everything, as you said, but also his strength too is editing and videoing and talking, and that just both of us combined together, we're a great team.
Yeah, it works. We definitely complement each other's weaknesses for sure.
But even with that said, Jeremy, it's interesting. Imagine living with your partner and being with them 24/7 for 11 months.
And it's Rob. Oh my goodness.
So the one big takeaway about what we do, yeah, we get to travel the country. We get to live and work out of our Subaru and have all these different adventures and experience all these different places and meet some amazing people. So it's a very romantic idea about this road life, right? About living out on the road. But there is actual work we have to do. It's not like we're just playing all the time and just woo, you know. We'll post things like that on our personal social medias because that's the fun stuff. But there is a lot of prep work and a lot of stuff we do work-wise that is required for this position. So it's a very romantic idea, but yeah, there's actual work that needs to be done too. So.
And quite honestly, we haven't really had the opportunity to really go enjoy like a full day out in the outdoors.
Not yet. So.
It's only been like a half day or maybe 3 hours. So eventually, as we keep going and we start, we have to do a lot of preparation considering that we're new to this role, and we want to be. The bar is high because the other traveling teams are phenomenal.
They're
and
really
so
good.
we want to match that bar. And so we're putting a lot of effort towards it to do the best job that we can.
Yeah, so that way everything can be streamlined. We get the prep work done in a matter of hours instead of days. And then you use the rest of the time to go explore trails and all the areas that we're in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool stuff that we've been missing so far, but we want to capitalize on those opportunities for sure.
Oh, and just the time driving to locations and, you know, since you don't have a home, you know, setting up camp, finding where to camp, you know, that sort of thing takes time too, right?
Exactly right.
But hey, the other night we got to camp right next to a little canal with a little swamp puppy, aka alligator.
Yeah, we pulled up to this.
Rob didn't scream like a little girl.
You know, they're cute. We pulled into this like little dispersed camping spot. I mean, it's kind of like next to the Everglades. And there's a little creek right there, and as we were just kind of getting out of the car and looking around, yeah, sure enough, there was a 3-foot alligator just chilling. And he hung out with us, you know, for 2 days.
Yeah. Gary the Gator.
Gary the Gator.
We gave him his space, so don't worry, appropriately.
Good. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to end. Thanks, and safe travels, and we'll probably see you soon.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Jeremy, good luck on your
Be
Appalachian
safe
Trail.
out there.
How many miles are you doing?
Thank you.
100 a day. This is going to start late.
250.
So what's your expected plan for days out?
Well, it's roughly 20 a day.
Good for you. Are you going to, what is it, a week and a half? A week and a
10
half.
days.
Okay.
It's 14 days, 13 on trail.
Yeah, that'd be legit. Yeah.
How exciting.
So
Have fun and watch.
couple resupplies in there.
Yeah.
So
Right on.
Hey, just remember when we talk about leave no trace, or we see other people not doing leave no trace, or practicing it, we never shame them or point fingers. We never name call.
I was going to say, wow, Rob's is learning something.
Exactly.
But when we're with you,
Anyway.
a different story, right?
Exactly. Well, thanks
Yeah,
for having us on.
I
Thanks
mean-
for helping us increase awareness and about what we have going on, not only like in our personal lives, but with the actual organization as well. So thanks, and hopefully people out there can learn a little bit while they watch this.
It's good to see your face,
All right.
Jeremy.
Yeah, you too. Everybody check out Leave No Trace. See ya. I want to thank Jeanelle and Rob for joining me. Their adventure sounds both exciting and challenging. If you haven't checked out Leave No Trace on social media, I invite you to do so. They put out videos and other content that are funny, entertaining, and educational. Also check out Midwest Backpacker on Instagram and Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe, punch that bell notification, and I'm going to be out on a durable surface when hopefully I will see you out on the trail.